Yeah, that's a better one. Good morning and welcome to the Hawkesbury River this morning. We're here with John. He's part of the Daiwa Australia team. He's Mr. Bait Junkie. He looks after all bait junkies, doing new shapes and everything like that, new colours. We're going to be out here with the brand new 2.35 inch prawn. So this is a new model into the Bait Junkie. So everybody will be familiar with the 3-inch prawn, which is out and available now. There's a smaller size coming and we're here to try and catch some fish on them this morning. So bit of a ways up the system. Going to be going for EPs, bass, maybe a bream, maybe a flatty, hopefully a Jew. John's a little Jew whisperer, he loves a Jew. So we'll see how we go, see what wants to bite the lures today. But beautiful morning, a little bit chilly, but let's get into it, eh? Broom. On top of that bank that you said, oh, I wonder if there's fish there, that one down here. It's not the big ones that you got to watch out for. Literally threw it on the wall, like an inch off the wall, and then it ate it like, literally, it was barely even in the water and he already had it. We just rocked up to the first spot, a pronounced spot in the Hawkesbury River. Thank you, Tom Slater, for this. I'm using the mudblood. I can't go past the mudblood. Love it in the 2.5 inch minnow. It's a go-to for me. What colour are you using there, John?
We've got the olive oil. Gone this olive oil colour. It's got the nice white eyes. I thought it'd stand out in the dirtier water.
Those white eyes are really nice. Got the new TD Blacks as well. I've got the grubbin. John's got the, which one do you have?
Drunken Monkey.
Drunken Monkey, both on TD Black reels as well. So I just got a bite. Let's see if we can convert. I think that's a Jew. I think it might be a Jew fish. Let's do the drag off a bit. Yeah, that's a dual fish, John. I don't know, it could just be a good EP, yeah, I do. Can I trust you on the net, John?
Yeah.
I think it's just a good EP, I reckon. It's either that or a little Jew. Big head shake, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We're locked up here, John, so as long as you don't touch that, we won't move, but just keep casting.
Yeah. Well done, dude. Good job.
First fish of the morning there, a all right little Jewy. Nothing to really write home about. Mum and Dad won't be knowing about it, but he's not bad. He's a pretty good little fella on the new 2.35 inch prawn there, mudblood. I'm telling you, it's got to be mudblood. So little 1/6 Bait Junkie jig head. I went for a little bit bigger hook on these because we are going for EPs, bass and Jewies. I want a little bit more gape on it, so only just pinned him there as well. He's quite nice. That's on the TD Black Grubbin, so that's a ULFS 722, good cast, ultra light. You can really feel them tick, and he was a very, like a very pronounced tick, and then struck into him. So, yeah, nice little soapy Jew there. I'm assuming there's probably going to be some more. John's got a big smile on his face. He absolutely loves Jew. So let's get some more. Yeah, not super big, but pretty happy with that to start the morning off. Let's get him back. Oh, mine nearly went in with him then. There we go.
That Jewfish goes, no, what's the worst that can happen?
No, that's a beautiful Hawkesbury River prawn there. Saves me, no, mates from the server, I'll eat this one.
Smash.
Smash! Yeah, just gonna go for the old Hail Mary cast here. Yoink.
Hail Mary.
There we go. They're normally up in where all that timber is.
Yeah.
So, at least it wasn't a waste driving 20 minutes to get here. John got that beautiful EP. I would have swapped that for that EP.
You would not have swapped that Jew for the EP.
They're pests.
Guys spent like 10 years chasing Jewies.
And he's calling it a pest.
EP or a flatty maybe. Probably flatty, I think, by the feels of him. Perfect. This is more like it. That's more like it. A very small Hawkesbury River Estuary Perch. You'd probably just push legal, I think. There is my first EP for the morning. Just backed him up after that Jew. He's not massive, just a textbook little EP from the Hawkesbury River. Let's get him back. Mudblood does it again. It's full moon too.
Mm.
You notice that?
Yeah, I definitely did.
I
when I was
didn't
driving
know,
there.
and then I saw it
I
driving.
was
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. I said I'm not going to say it, but so today I'm just running a 2.35 prawn on a 1/8 jig head. I like to try and stay in contact with the lure as much as possible. Most of the hits I get are on the drop. With the prawn's design, the body naturally flares out, so while it's dropping, that's when I feel like most fish actually hit it.
Oh, that was a good bite. That was an awfully nice bite. So my technique for these prawns, I obviously like to chuck them out in the water, and then let them get down to the bottom. I like to fish these hard on the bottom using the Humminbird Mega Live. I can see that most of the fish are in like the bottom quarter, up around the rocks. So I let it get down. I've got a 1/6 jig head on. I don't really notice that with this style of fishing that you really need to go super finesse. Like to stay on the bottom. Similar to John, I like to stay in contact. I don't like to give the lure slack. I don't want there to be an unbeknown bite to me. So I like to stay in contact with it. I like to give it a little shake or like a couple quick little hops and then pause, but then stay in contact with it. Don't give it slack. You can see when it hits the bottom quite noticeably because your line does go slack straight away. So staying in contact that whole time, giving it little hops on the bottom, little shake and bakes, pause, never open the bail arm unless it's super deep or the current's running really, really hard. But I like just to do that, little hops, nothing too erratic. As John said, on the drop, the tail flares out. The legs are designed not for movement, but to catch water, to flare the tail out. So it kind of goes down with a bit of a flare, and then 99% of bites are on the drop. So staying in contact with it is most definitely key. It's crazy how quickly this river like cleans up. Like Harry and I fished it out. There he is. See, you come back, John.
It's not a jewfish though.
Yeah, I think you'd say that.
I think it's a flathead. Just pulled another nice little perch. That's come on the opening night colour. Oh. And just to one up me, Braden's decided to hook up right now too.
Yeah, he's an absolute hog as well.
Oh, and it's bigger than mine.
Now this thing is just something. Just little pups, eh?
It's good to see variety of colours working up here.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go and do a bit of hog hunting. These are just a bit too small, I think.
Maybe they're turning on.
He might be a little bit better. No, he's not. No, he's not too bad. Oh, look at that. He's just all twisted up and kinds. He'll come back, but look at that. Ready? Oh.
Keep it. Why am I getting all the little ones?
Take it easy, John. That's a nice one, buddy.
That tide's risen a bit of the junk on the shoreline's moved and they seem to fire up a little bit more. Again, nothing big, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. We'll let him go. That feels better.
Whoa, Juwan.
That was off the
he's
Brimo.
a prism.
Nice clockwork. Up out zooming again.
Just little babies. Just babies. Right, I think we might get a move on here. Just babies. Beautiful colours in through. Can you see those colours in above his pec there? Rightio, little flathead here. John's on another nice little EP. The prawn, getting the damage done this morning. That's 4 different species now in one spot. So we've got a Jew, Estuary Perch, Bream, and now Flatty. It's just a nursery. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go hog hunting. Let's try and get some big ones on these.
Winding down.
I'm going to make a bit of a move now. I'm just going to put the old gloves on to retain some heat in the fingers, but we're just going to go back upstream a bit. Just find a spot that kind of looks like a bit of current sitting a rock wall or a little bit of depth or something. So we'll just take it slow and just scan the banks and pull up somewhere. Just made a move in the driving down before the fog got really thick, I noticed this rock wall, so I thought, I've never fished it, we'll pull up and have a bit of a crack. It's quite deeper in 42 foot here and the wall's only just there, but in the Hawkesbury, I like to fish a low tide or a run out tide, so the tide's just topping out now. The reasonings why I don't really like high tides is because obviously there's more water for the fish to be in, but there's a lot more overhanging stuff, so getting things up in there like plastics that are open jig heads, that are on open jig heads like this, makes it a little bit tough. But this rock wall doesn't look too bad. Not too sure with the current situation, just because I like to have a bit of flow. EPs like to sit behind something, they're pretty lazy, they like eddies, and when there isn't any, I find a little bit tougher with a bite. So hopefully when the tide tops out, changes and starts going down, hopefully we'll start getting some more fish. We just got to find those pressure points, find those points and those back eddies, and hopefully there's some EPs there. Maybe a couple of due for John, who knows? Of course, yeah, just depth. Buzzbaits in summer, this would be a good buzzbait bank. So when fishing these deep drop-offs, I really like, I guess, because it is so steep, we're in 45 foot here, it's literally, 10 metres and we're at the bank. So you can imagine that it's quite steep. Using a 1/6 here, when I work the lure, I don't do massive big hops, because if you think about it, if it's this steep, and then if you do a big hop, it's all the way out here, now it's sitting in 20 foot of water, where if you do a little hop, it only has to drop down a couple of foot or 4 or 5 foot or whatever, where if you do a big hop, it needs to drop down a lot more. So I like to just do little tips, and then because 90–95% of the bites come on the drop, you'll find that you've got more time to stay in contact with that lure all the way down. That's how I like to do it personally, and I like to let the wall do most of the work and then let the jig head drop down it. So minimal action for maximum drop. Yeah, typical bass bite. I was just saying to John that this is a very bassy bank, and that was textbook bass. It was just around that mangrove there, between the mangrove and that post. There's a little bay there. Hit the water, and on the drop he just ate it. Not a big one. There's
Species 5 though.
Species 5, yeah, on the prawn. Mudblood. Just catches everything, this thing. But very typical Hawkesbury River bass. There'd be tons and tons and tons of this size bass in this river. But yeah, number 5, little bass. It's all right. We'll probably get a move on, to be fair. Have a scan back here. I should have probably marked where it was, shouldn't I?
Alrighty, we've just pulled up to another spot. Braden's been kind enough to take me to one of his secret spots in a river. While we're out here, we've also got another new size and Bait Junkie prawn to introduce. So this is a 5-inch prawn. Same body design, flares out really nicely on a drop. It's just extremely versatile, can be fished in so many ways. So I'd be real keen to see if I can get a jewfish on it.
It's pretty cool. It's cool, I enjoyed it.
Right, when we designed this prawn, we put a lot of thought in to make sure that this prawn can fold away really nicely into a fish's mouth. So by having this segmented body, it tucks away real nicely. You're not going to miss hookups, you're going to convert more bites. And the benefit of these cuts in the body, it allows the prawn's body to flare out nice on the drop, just making it look super natural as possible. I thought they'd be a bit shallower than that. Brett's Bridge.
This isn't Brett's Bridge. I brought Brett here for the first time. I brought Brett here to this one and that bank. That's a good bank as well. You can tell him that.
This one's for Brett.
You were, and I'm like, don't worry about it. We'll get him. It's going to be good. Yeah. That's a better one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, it might not be too bad.
Is it perch or?
Perch, yeah.
Down the net. Oh,
Nah,
bass, is it? Yeah.
That's a good bass. That's a nice little bassy bass right there.
Nice little. Good job.
Not half bad, you know. These are pretty good bass, to be honest. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get the rod sorted. He's not a half bad little bass. That probably, I'd say high 30s forker, 38, 39 forker. Really nice little fish, stocky, fat little thing. But again, it's got to be the mudblood. Has to be the mudblood all the time. 2.35 inch prawn there, 1/6 jig head. It's just that simple. Hopping it back, catch a nice little bass. He's a little chunk.
Okay.
So Braden's outdone me again and got the bigger model from this stretch, but hopefully I can get him somewhere in the day today. 2.35 inch prawn doing the damage again.
It's that opening night.
Yeah.
The old mudblood. It's always got to be mudblood. There is some good little pair of bass there. Let's get them back. That was a good release, that one. Brother! A bit of baskel there, brother. You can pole him, yeah?
So another nice little chunky bass. Opening night colour doing the damage again. We seem to have found a little school just in here, so I might try a different colour, see if I can get on something different this time.
It's that time of the day now where I need to swap up the colours. So mudblood, love mudblood. It's my favourite colour in the full Bait Junkie range. It ticks all the boxes as a bass guy. It does everything, but time to put it down on the deck. I'm going to go for a colour that I wouldn't normally lean towards. It's white bait there, so quite white with a bit of translucent, with a bit of fleck underneath there. A popular colour, I use this colour on buzzbaits a lot in the 3.2 inch minnows, but I wouldn't really typically use it in this scenario, but I'm going to give it a crack. But in all Bait Junkie sizes and models, the cool thing about these, they come in a clamshell, so you can see here that they're fully moulded around these 2.35 inch prawns here. There's 8 in the pack there. So the really good thing about this is you can have them sitting in the boat for a year, for 2 years or whatever. They're not going to change shape or deform because of leaning up in a tackle box or something like that. So all of the appendages are going to stay true, so you can pull it out, put it on a jig, and it's going to work every single time. So we'll pull one out here, we'll put that back away, and let's see if we can catch one on the white bait. I've got no doubts, but it's just probably more of a confidence thing when it comes to colours. We'll give it a go. Juan's back onto the background there, so I'm wasting time here swapping out.
It's my opportunity to
There we
catch
go.
up.
Look at that. Going for EPs here. I like to have a little bit of extra gape there. So I've gone for the next size up hook that I would typically use. I think this is a number 1. I'd probably typically use a number 2 because it is quite a small lure, but because the EPs have got such big mouths, I want to have that bit of extra gape, so when you feel that tick, you strike and there's that bit extra hook there to pin them somewhere. So let's see if we can get the white bait into some. He's another nice bass, eh?
Chunker. Alrighty, I've caught a fair few on the opening night colour, so I want to see how motor oil goes.
It's like they're all fish, see that? Yeah, there's all fish there.
I don't think he's as big.
Oh, okay.
He's alright. Thank you.
Nice little school of basses there.
Alrighty, he's a bit bigger than I first thought it was. Changed to motor oil. Seems to have done the trick. I finally got one that's on the bigger side. I'm pretty chuffed with that one. Let's get him back in. Alright, we'll get this guy back in. Let's see if we can get some more. Get another one. Wait till you get your first cod, mate. That's when everything's going to change for you. There'll be no going back to bass. Stick fish. Oh my lord. It's an estuary perch. Wowza.
Oh wow, he's cute. Put him in the tank.
So it works on big and little fish.
Hey, that's like
Oh, good rod.
aside, I can't tell it's a travel because it's so the tape is so small. Everything.
Okay, just get to the bottom. There's one.
Bass. Yoink. He's a fatty butt, little tub. Oh, he wasn't coming off either. Golly. Little tub, look at that. Little fatty. Love that. Cutie. On the white bait, finally I'll be able to put Mudblood back on. There he is, let's get him back. He was exactly where he should have been just then. He didn't bite it, but he just went, he was just kind of there. That's it. White bait is complete. You can go down. I'm going to chuck a red herring on when we get to the next spot. We just finished up here, got that nice little bass. We're going to keep going upstream. The tide's slowly starting to work its way out now. We'll probably be a bit more slack up there, but we're not going too far. So hopefully it starts to pump and we start to get some big holes. That's where this is the goat. I want to catch a fish out of here. So it'll be a good one if we get a bite. Yeah, he's not very big, is he? Oh, he's not bad. Didn't really. Oh, he's a bass. What in tarnations? He was nice and deep in there. Very textbook plastic bite there for a bass, a tick, and then they're always hooked somewhere through there, which is good for the leader and everything like that. So pop him out, red herring, got the job done. Get him back. A bit mangled looking. I love him, but estuarine monsters in here. That's my thought. So we've just pulled up to one of my favourite little points in the Hawkesbury here. Again, it's the tide hasn't really started to kick fully in, but you can kind of get the gist of why I like this point so much. You can see it is quite a subdued point. It's not a really dominant point within the river, but it's in a good section of the river where all the water from up there comes off a straight and hits this section. So then on the run out tide, just off this little point here, you can kind of see there's a lot of debris and weed and stuff that's in this section, which is the eddy. So typically a lot of the time, the EPs are quite lazy, so they'll sit in this eddy so they don't have to do much work. They'll sit behind rocks so they don't have to do much work. So you can really get a gist of really good starting points. You can break your system down really, really quick by just looking at a map and understanding that the tide will run around this deeper edge here, and then it's going to hit this point. So there should be current on here at the run out tide. Another good reasoning for this point is, again, long straight on the incoming tide, and there's an eddy on the other side. So this is a really good point for incoming and outgoing tides. I always fish here, always seem to catch fish. It's probably going to be different today because we're getting filmed and everything, but I've got a lot of confidence in this point because of those reasonings. So you can really break down rivers and systems really, really quickly. They might be really daunting looking at the overall size of a river. Like the Hawkesbury is massive, but if you just break it down to a little section and then look at maps and kind of understand the tide a little bit, then you can really pinpoint spots that you can jump up and down. And then when you do it a couple of times, you kind of get into a bit of a routine and understand the fish in that system a bit more. So that's what I've done with this point. I'm really confident in it, and it always seems to produce. So.
So we switched up spots a bit. Oh, perfect timing, Braden's hooked up too. New colour, tried the bloodworm this time and it's produced the goods. See how big Braden's one looks like. It's a better fish maybe?
No, not really.
Oh, it's EP, is it?
Not a bad EP actually. Yeah. So. Very typical size Hawkesbury River EP, what I find. Not massive, but not bad. He's reasonably good. What I was talking about before with this current hitting this bank, we're in the flat section now where the current hits the whole thing. So this is probably the best current we found all day, and fair enough, there's an EP sitting there. So we'll get it back. Hopefully there's a couple more. Where there's one EP, there should always be more. Rightio, so matched up with our TD Black rod and reel combos here, I've got 0.6 PE braid running a 10-pound leader
You could probably get away with 8 pound leader. This is the new X-Link leader for us, but because the water is a little bit dirtier, like I'm not too worried about going to 10 pound with it. Also, when the EPs generally suck it in, they'll suck it back past it, and then you'll get a bit of chafe in front. Even as you'll hook them with the jig head hanging out of the mouth, a lot of the time when they suck it in, they'll chafe a couple of inches of it. So I like to go something a little bit heavier, some 10 pound. What are you using on yours, John?
I got 10 pound Expo with a 12 pound leader, so I've just gone that little bit heavier with the hope and prayer that I would get a good juice today. It hasn't happened yet, but the day's still young, so never know. Could be on soon.
We're just going to pull up to the last spot now. I've got a little secret honey hole here that's not super secret when you see it. But there's a good bank after that as well, so we're going to quickly fish here and then we're going to fish that bank. And I think we might call it quits after that, to be honest. It's getting into the afternoon, and yeah, I typically don't fish for EPs this long, but yeah, we'll just see how we go, see if they're here and see if they're around. And EPs will go in there and eat them, and you catch flatties and brim and everything off them. There's one.
Good one.
Yeah, he's not bad actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not bad. Didn't even know I had him on then. He was off that weed.
He's a good one, mate. Hang on.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's a good one. He's a good one.
Hit that anchor button, please. Yeah, rightio. This could potentially be the last fish for the day, but he's just eating that little white bait of all things. Not a bad EP. That's a good way to finish the day off right there. He's a reasonably good one. He's had a bit of a wound there. Something's grabbed hold of him, but he's healing up. Look at the big bucket mouth on him. I just love these things. I would happily just chase these for the rest of my life. I think they're just so cool. They eat everything and anything, and they get much bigger than this as well, but this is a pretty solid one, so pretty happy with that. There is nice little estuary perch there. He's the better one for the day, so getting back. Never to be seen again. There he is. The beauty of the Elastomax here, so the little bass is just choked on that. He's got a bit of that scale there, but it looks a bit mangled up, but we'll just undo him and straighten him back up. Ready for another fish. Oh my word. Yeah. Some good it's good bass coming on the deck, eh? Definitely wasn't expecting this many good bass today. There's some reasonably decent ones, to be honest. So not massive, but just overall quality's up there, which is good. Little whitebait. Done the job. Beauty. Oh my God. So we'll probably just finish up here somewhere. I've got a little bit of a kick in the bank that I like to fish a lot. There always seems to be a little school there. So we'll finish up. It's probably only a couple hundred meters down. John's just retying because he got busted off by a fish. It bricked him. And so we'll finish off up here. Hopefully we can come across a couple more between now and then, just to close it out. But the prawns have done the damage today. The 2.35 inch prawn. I'm a believer, baby. This thing's on. Even whitebait's converted me, maybe.
Alrighty, so our day's coming to an end. We've had a I'd say a good day fishing. We've caught pretty much every species that can swim in an estuary on the new little prawns, 2.35 inch prawn. We ended up getting, I lost count of how many bass, how many perch, got a few flathead, brim, and started off the day with that awesome jewfish from Braden, which I'm real jealous about because I didn't get one today, but I'm really happy to see that the prawns produced. What do you reckon, Braden?
Yeah, good day. I reckon it was a little bit slower than what I was expecting, even though we had a really good day. Just the calibre EP wasn't there. We caught a lot of small fish today. I was hoping for some of the really big donkeys around, but no, you're right. The 2.35 did a really good job. a good addition to the Bait Junkie range, plus that 5-inch which you threw a little bit earlier. I think those two to round out that prawn offering in the Bait Junkie is really good. So that's a 2.35, a 3-inch and a 5-inch prawn now in the Bait Junkie. But no, all in all, really happy, mate. I'm pretty stoked. I might even be converted on whitebait here as well. But yeah, that's it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to head back to the ramp, and thanks for tuning in.